Hey everybody, welcome back to Demon Toast, where we talk about Alf, and we're all really good singers here. Yeah,
Because we're done.
that's how we get it done, right? So I'm King Loki, your host. I'm the editor of Deathwish Poetry Magazine. With me are two of my co-hosts. We have Adrian and CA. Adrian is our
Hello.
brilliant artist. Yeah. And CA is our mystical healer and wise person. And we're here to talk about K-pop Demon Hunters, the smash hit, surprise sleeper hit on Netflix that somehow Sony Pictures made from the people that brought you Morbius.
Okay, but if David Desmalkian does not get to play Morbius in the new show, I'm going to be real upset.
What new show?
Doesn't even matter.
There's no new show. They're not making a Morbius movie. It's not happening. It's they cast Jared Leto that never made it. All right. So anyway, K-pop Demon Hunters. This is something I was not planning to watch because I've seen K-pop and not quite my thing.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody loved this, and you all loved this, and we're like, let's do an episode on K-pop Demon Hunters. And I said, okay. And here we are. So, CA, you want to tell us about K-pop Demon Hunters, the movie?
Okay, so yeah, I mean, K-pop Demon Hunters, you hear that title and you think to yourself, this is about to be the worst, cheesiest, campiest, dumbest thing I've ever watched, right? Like it does not evoke strong, like encouragement from the title that it's going to be anything, deep or interesting. Well, depending on who you are, whatever. But like I'm the same way. Like I'm not. I mostly listen to heavy music, alternative music. Not a big K-pop person. Although when I was a little girl, of course, I had my boy band phase, which is K-pop adjacent. So, anyways, that's neither here nor there. So the movie, well, there is a trio, a female K-pop group known as Huntrix, and they are, K-pop stars by day, demon hunters by night. And there are three of them. One of them is, we follow her story a little more closely as the main character, Rumi. But yeah, the main plot of the film is that there is this realm of demons that are trying to infiltrate into, Earth. And it is the job of Huntrix. Well, the job has befell to them over time. They've had predecessors ahead of them each step of the way. There's always a group, a trio of female singers that through the power of their music, they create what is called the Hun Moon, which is like a protective barrier around the earth, basically keeping the demons out. So that's the main plot. And then of course there's lots of twists and turns and self-discoveries and things along the way that happen as the movie goes on. And later on we get introduced to a male K-pop group, the Saja Boys, who are demons. And they have decided that was their method of infiltrating into Earth, which is to, instead of, fighting against this whole K-pop Hunmoon strategy that's been working for many, decades or centuries. We don't really know exactly how long. They go, well, let's beat them at their own game. Let's become K-pop stars ourselves and pull the fans away from them and get them to be fans of us instead and devoted to us instead. And, that's how we'll infiltrate. So, yes. That's so what I'll say for now.
Yes, and we will get deeper into all of this.
Yes.
But what I love about all this is how delightfully homegrown this is, right? I have written here, so Korean shamanism, there's a flavor of it called mugyo, which features singing on mountaintops. And mountains are seen as the link between heaven and earth, of course. The singers are called mudang. And often they're women wearing men's clothing, which is fascinating because it's usually the other way around, right? It's usually men who will wear dresses or elaborate headdresses and so on. And they use song and dance to call down spirits or banish them as the need arises. Yeah, so there's a lot of really fun stuff to get into, but I'd like to point out that Saja is Korean for lion, but it's also a pun. Jeosong Saja are the I probably said that wrong, and that's okay because I'm not Korean and I am very happy to be corrected. But they
They're
are
the
the
Grim Reapers.
they are the Grim Reapers, exactly. They are the emissaries of death. They bring you to the great beyond, as it were. And it's funny because this is an American production, but everyone involved in it is Korean. There's so many things about this that are cool. Maggie Kang, she is I believe she's the director. Yes. So her original idea was she wanted to make like a superhero movie centered on Korean pop stars fighting demons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and her original idea was like, I don't want them to be like Marvel superheroes who are sexy and very cocksure. I want them to be like burping and overweight
Yep.
and very real. And
Normal. Yep. Mm-hmm.
that obviously didn't win out for obvious reasons, Other people like that would have been cool, but they were kind of like marketability. That does matter. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of fascinating because when it comes to Korean pop stars, Japanese pop stars as well, they are very tightly managed,
Oh yeah.
They
Oh
are
yeah.
in many cases, yeah. Yeah, their contracts they're not like pop stars in America where they might have a
No.
producer they work with. Yeah, like um the movie didn't go into this, but because it had other concerns, but like, one of my favorite stories is there's a boy band in Japan. They got the main singer to play Ultraman, and Ultraman in Japan is a huge fucking meta series. They were like, this is great. We have the singer playing Ultraman. We're going to get him on stage shows across Japan. We're going to sell records of him singing as Ultraman. He'll sing it. Well, they cast him, and then his record company calls up. They're like, no, he's not allowed. He's not allowed to do that. He can't do any
Mm.
of that. He only sings for us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They dictate what you can eat, who you can date.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that the movie kind of was put on a leash is kind of interesting in that light, considering it's about pop stars and that's the reality of pop music, right, in Japan and Korea.
Well, if you listen to some interviews with Maggie King, one of the things she talks about is how many times the film got rejected by multiple different places that she sent it to and workshopped it to, and everybody said, no, 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 it's never going to work, it's never going to work, it's never going to work, it's never going to work. And now it has, finally, it did eventually get picked up, and we are seeing in real time just how many of those people are kicking themselves going, fuck, I should have said yes to this film.
I mean, the soundtrack for the film literally just went platinum yesterday.
Yes. I mean, they are charting higher, and they are charting by the way, this is a fictional, for the movie only, K-pop group, right? It's not like they hired out some like actual already established K-pop group to come sing for this film. It's quite literally they hired three. I mean, they are beautiful singers, of course, but like it's an invented K-pop group for this film, and they are charting higher in the United States than any actual K-pop artist has. They beat all the actual K-pop artists that have have good they are doing well here in the US. K-pop has had a surge of popularity over maybe the last 5-10 years or so.
Yeah.
However, K-pop Demon Hunters, the Huntrix, this fake group, and the Saja Boys are charting higher than actual K-pop groups, and that to me is also very illuminating to the success of the concept, the success of the film, how connected people feel to this story and to these songs. So yeah.
Speaking of which, you both have daughters, right? I mean, tell me about that. Tell me about their connection to this. I mean, because this is aimed right at their demographic.
So, for me, my daughter, I had her a few weekends ago, and she came into the room, and I was painting because I was working on a show, and she's like, hey, Mom, can we paint together? And she brings her little sketch pad and like all of this stuff, and I was like, absolutely. She's like, hey, Mom, can I show you my favorite movie right now? And I was like, absolutely, let's watch it. And so she puts on K-pop Demon Hunters, and I sat there and we watched this movie, and I was literally, she's like, Mom, you're going to cry now. And I was like, no, I'm not. 5 seconds later, I'm like totally sobbing. And I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. The way that girls connect with this on like an emotional level is honestly like really inspiring and really beautiful.
Yes.
I was taking them back and Golden started playing on the radio in the car, just a random station because I have to drive for like 8 hours. And we're all listening. Morgan's got her little earbuds doing like the 13-year-old, like broody, I'm cool. And I turned on the radio and that song started playing. And I'm sitting there driving, waiting for her to react. And then she finally takes the earbud out and she's like, Mom, is this? And I was like, yes. And we started like singing together. Even Jack, my son, who's younger than Morgan, he's 10. We all started singing this amazing song together in the car on what would normally be like kind of an emotional ride. And it was beautiful. Morgan really likes um the little character with the black hair. It's Zoe.
The rapper?
Zoe is Morgan's favorite character because there's this whole line that she says where she feels constantly like she's not enough and stuff like that. And, as a 13-year-old teenage girl, I hear my daughter say that quite frequently. But then, in the movie, it's like super empowering and they're like able to express their emotions and talk about it. Of course, they're singing it, but like, and like acknowledging their fears and their emotional states, but then like finding power in that instead of hiding it. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, and I would say so. My 12-year-old daughter also like deeply, deeply connected with it. I have three daughters. My oldest, she's 15. She watched it and liked it, and that's enough for me because she usually doesn't even like participate in family activities. So the fact that it like pulled her out of her bedroom, out of the cave, is a success in and of its own.
She's too cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but she did like it. And she's very hard to impress, and she usually likes to take a critical, stance on things, especially if other people really like it, because she's very like contrarian like that. But she like
I don't know anything like that.
she actually just like sat there and just consumed it and really just chilled, and I could tell that she liked it. And then my youngest is 7, and she loves it for all of the like 7-year-old reasons of it, right? Visually, it's incredibly entertaining. There's funny parts. It's, cute and relatable, and she loves music. She is such a little musician. So she's dancing, she's singing, she's loving it. My 12-year-old, this is, I think, the key demographic is this like younger, like this preteen to younger teen age group. And when I tell you, I think my daughter watched K-pop Demon Hunters, and without exaggerating, she is neurodivergent. So keep that in mind. Like we do like to hyperfixate and ha 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 again, ha 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 again, when we like something. But without exaggerating, she probably watched it like roughly like 50 times within a couple weeks span of time. Like it was just constantly on. So what I think is one of the things that she's connecting with the most as well. It's funny that you brought up the thing about how Maggie King originally wanted it to be very like extremely like human type characters and all of that. I think they compromised because while they are physically attractive women in the film, you know what I mean? They're all very cute. They're all very pretty. They did give them like a pretty human element. Like, they're eating a lot. You do see bodily functions happening and things like that, which I love.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
they have the whole burping thing on the plane.
Yep, and they're burping and all of that. And so like I think they found ways to like compromise with that and bring an element of like, let's try to figure out how to make these characters fully textured human beings, even if they are conventionally very beautiful. How do we bring some more texture to like them as humans? Which is then, they each have their own different types of insecurities and, emotional issues that they're dealing with.
There's the scene where Zoe, like, she's trying to help Rumi deal with her voice loss. And she takes her to her quack doctor. And, he gives her a tonic. And when she finds out it's just grape juice, she's just like, "Oh my gosh, Zoe."
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
And that made me
Zoe.
think about so many women that I've known who like swear by some thing that they read about or
Oh,
saw or
yeah.
heard about from someone else. Yeah.
Power of the
Yeah,
placebo,
that
man, for sure.
yes, that felt very relatable to me. Like,
Oh,
I've
yeah.
never been like that, but I've known people like that. I'm like, "Hey, that's real," you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm. Also speaks
yeah,
to the
no, I
power of
think
like female friendship. I think you get like a very strong showing, like a strong, representation of how female friendship really
mm,
is like the bedrock of so many lives of girls and women, like, and there's, you would think there would be like way more representation of it in film, and it's they're really, there's some, but especially not even like in little kids movies, like or maybe it's not little kids but movies, but like at such like a really pivotal age of social emotional development, like who this is geared towards, that like middle school age girl. Like, this is when we're seeing the budding of cliques and mean girl behavior and stuff like that they are dealing with in their personal lives. And then to see a movie that's displaying these three women who are friends with one another and how they really are really there for each other and support each other and help each other through and all of that. I just think that's like really beautiful to have an example of that for them to see.
I agree. And I think that like Maggie King referencing Marvel superheroines and her wanting to steer clear of that speaks to that, because if you read Marvel comics, they do have the female characters. They have like She-Hulk, right? They have Spider-Woman.
Mm-hmm.
They're all like analogs to the male characters, of course. They like you have occasional characters like Storm or whatever, but their emotions are very similar to the men's. It's Wagnerian chest thumping,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
Yeah. You don't get a lot of that here. You get a lot of like
Mm-hmm.
misunderstanding. You get a lot of insecurity where, the,
Yep.
the plot is Rumi discovering that she has the demonic symbols on her arm, the patterns on her body, because her dad was a demon. And she's like, she believes that if they create the golden Hun Moon, which will permanently make the demon menace be trapped in the other world, her patterns will go away and she could just keep it to
Mm-hmm.
herself. And that, of course,
Yeah.
leads to all kinds of heartbreak and angst. Adrian, you look like you want to say something.
One of the things I love about their entire friendship is like each one of them has their own issues. Like Mira has the anger issues, Rumi has secrets. Um, they don't get mad at Rumi about being half demon. Like, yes, they're confused about part of that. What they get mad about is that she didn't trust them enough and that she
Mm-hmm.
lied to them,
Yep.
which was instilled with her by generational trauma, let's be honest.
It was generational trauma that taught her
It
to
is
hide that.
100%. And I love that it wasn't violence that broke the generational trauma. I'm just going to say that because in a lot of movies, it's always you have to fight. It wasn't like that. It was like a confrontation that was beautiful. But the friendship, like, yes, they were upset. They were only upset that she lied to them. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
beautiful. Like, they understood each other and they knew each other well enough and they cared about each other. They knew all of their, like, weird little quirks and they work as a team. And even at the end, like, let's be like between, the big reveal to them and then the ending, like, they're able to connect so fast because Rumi just decides to own it. And they speak to it's beautiful. Like, and I feel like I have friendships like that in my life because I'm really lucky. But like those are
Mm.
the friendships, and you didn't see those in movies, especially when I was growing up. Like, friendships, especially female friendships like that, did not exist. You had Disney princesses that had to be saved by kisses and dudes. It didn't matter how like trendy and cool it was. It was always, oh.
Well, and even like a
So
lot of
there are,
movies that do depict female friendship, so much of the plot device around what those girls or women are like relating about or talking about is male centered. It's, I have this crush or this boyfriend or want this crush or want this boyfriend, and all they do as female friends is like talk to each other about boys and like how to get a boyfriend or fix an ex-boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? So like, whereas in
Yes,
this movie we
100%.
are dealing with like I said before, like fully textured human beings. Like there is an element of like some of them have like these weird little maybe like crushes on some of the Saja boys, and before they find out that they're demons and stuff like that. Like whatever. Like there's like a nod to it every now and then, but it is not a plot device. It's not like it's purpose.
It's not the focus. It's not the focus of their friendships or the plot.
It's not at all. Exactly. It's not the focus of their friendship or really the plot.
Honestly, the whole narrative about the Hun Moon and the demons and all that stuff really just serves as a backdrop to their friendship and career as pop stars that love each other, and perform together and write the songs together. And you know what I mean? Like that whole thing where I really like that sequence where they're sitting around talking about when they're going to release their new single, Golden. And it's the three of them and like their guy. I don't know if he's their manager or supporter, their caddy, whatever.
Yeah, I think he's all of them.
He's very...
He's
just like it's very intimate, and I think that's the key thing, the intimacy between the main characters, where they're all friends and they all like each other, and you want to see them do things together, like that opening sequence where they're on the plane and their entire staff has been replaced by demons, and they're like, we'll be there in 5 minutes because they're late to their show because the demons turn the plane around, and they break into song. It's delightful. It's fun. All they want to do is eat their noodles.
Great. And they do.
It is.
They kick all those demons butts, and they still eat their ramen.
Their ramen, and like yes, but that's when all the burping, and I love how like sometimes instead of making them hot, attractive girls, they turn them into little chibi characters.
It's cute. Like, I do love when they do that.
It is so cute, but like yes.
Now that is an aspect of like the medium of like anime and stuff. But what I think is cool about this movie, this is something I read. So obviously Sony also produced the Spider-Verse movies, right? Where it's sort of a mixture of 2D and 3D animation, and the result is this like really interesting like jerky herky thing that looks visually stunning, right? And they're pushing. Oh wait, I guess they didn't make Puss in Boots. That's DreamWorks, which is owned by what, Universal? Whatever. Who cares? Who cares about corporations? My point is that like they copied that, right? The Ninja Turtles movie, the animated Ninja Turtles movie that just came out, copied it too. The K-pop lady was like, "We're not doing that." So they took out any aspect of 2D animation that was making its way into the storyboards and stuff. So you still get the cute chibis and stuff like that, but I love that they tried really hard to make this distinct and unique, for something that went direct to Netflix, because that's the new direct to DVD. Let's be honest, right? Or direct to Tubi. I mean,
right. And I think that's why. No Tubi slander around here.
No Tubi. I will not. No.
But no, I mean that really is why it was such a dark horse situation. Like I think everybody was just so shocked by this K-pop Demon Hunters, extravaganza that hit, America.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, just to stay on the point for like one more second. I mean, I have a couple Thor comics that end with like Thor crying as like, he's with one of his friends and the story's ending and it ends like that. It doesn't end with him bashing in someone's skull, but it's pretty rare for anything male-centered to end that way, and it's refreshing to see it anywhere. The most prominent example is probably like the Lord of the Rings, where the men kiss each other and hug, and they don't have to hug each other and pat each other's back, so it's no homo. Like
Frodo and Sam.
I really enjoyed it. I am not female at all. But I was like, I love these people. I think they're great. And, well, I guess that's as good a time as any to talk about their foils in the Saja boys, right? So you have Guima, who is this... He's made up for the movie. He is not from the Korean mythology. Right. He's a huge flaming ball of hateful, dark energy that talks like the Disney Hades. He almost sounds like James Woods. He's very sarcastic.
He sounds like the guy from Lost to me. But yeah.
Sure, and he's kind of like, ooh, they're going to do this Golden Hun Moon. How do we stop them, man? If they do this, we can never get through ever again. And like our hero, well, our villain, Genu, he flies up with his guys, and they're all wearing these kick-ass horsehair hats that I need. They look like grim death. They look like something out of a Rob Zombie show. They're
I
fucking
mean,
great.
let's be honest. That fucking scene, that scene where they come up and they say, "We are gonna be a boy band," and he's like, "You really think that will work?" And then it does that super stylized scene where each of them they like transform.
They become these cute, pretty femboys. And all the demons are like, oh yeah, that could work. Oh yeah, that could
and then
work.
all the demons are like, oh yeah, this is totally gonna work. I mean, it's so good.
Totally gonna work.
Oh, I love that scene so much.
Yeah, so the sequence where they first see the Saja boys, and they don't know they're demons, of course. They don't have the spidey sense. They just, they're singing this adorable song called Soda Pop.
Yep.
It's about how, oh, you're my little soda pop. I just want to love you and consume you, and, you'll fill me up. You know what I mean? Do we want to read the lyrics, actually? Adrian, you want to read the lyrics?
The lyrics?
No, I don't have the lyrics. Go right on ahead.
Wow. You're not prepared at all, Adrian. What are we gonna do? I mean,
I can tell you things about the hung moon and whatnot if you want.
I'm just teasing you. I don't care.
We're looking it up.
I want to do Your Idol personally. That's my favorite song.
I love that song.
Isn't it fucking great? It's like personal Jesus, So
good. It's so good.
It's really good.
Mode for life.
Depeche Mode, yeah. Oh yeah, that was them.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, CA, do you want to do Soda Pop?
Yeah. No, I absolutely will.
Good song.
Okay.
Probably talk about.
All right. So the Soda Pop, some of the lyrics, anyways. It's don't. Well, okay. This is kind of interesting. We could do a whole lyric analysis. Don't want you, need you. Yeah, I need you to fill me up. Okay. So. And then that need tastes so sweet. Every sip makes me want more. Looking like snacks. Take a bite. I want another bite. When you're in my arms, I hold you so tight. Can't let you go. All of that. I'm empty. You feed me. So refreshing. My little soda pop. Right? So that's, think about that, right?
Yeah.
So but it's this very, hyper pop, super bubbly, extremely catchy song that if you weren't paying attention to the lyrics, you're just like, this is the best song ever, blah, blah, blah. And that's the whole point, right? And already they're setting the stage. They're already setting the stage for like who they are and what they're here to do, which is consume the souls of these humans.
It's like love bombing almost, this song. It's so aggressive. And I love that, like, I would describe it as bubblegum rock, almost. And it's a soda pop song, so, it's very clever is my point, Yeah. It's not just
even in the ose the girls, when they're first hearing it, what is that one line? She says, "It is catchy, I'll give them that." And Mira says it's infectious.
Control your shoulders.
No, Mira says it's infectious, and I love that line because it's and it is, right? That's the whole purpose of how Saja Boys work, is like they quite literally they get you addicted. It's like an addictive type feeling that they're creating between themselves and the fans.
Yeah, what is it? Verse, chorus, verse, right? Like the repetitive nature of a pop song, which just hooks you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got those hooks that get into your head that you want to sing along to because,
it's catchy.
So I do want to talk about the characters of the Saja Boys because I found them to be very clever and funny, and there wasn't enough emphasis on it. So you had Genu, who was their leader, right? But then you had Abby with his abs. You had Romance, who was the very emotional one. He the false image of pure love, parasocial relationships, if you will. There was Mystery. He didn't talk. His hair covered his eyes. These are all elements of boy bands and the more commercial pop groups, right? And then you had, of course, Baby, who was pretty. He had a youthful voice. All different objects of lust, as it were. Whereas with how do I put this? With our heroes in Huntrix, they're very complex characters. Rumi is the leader, and she's insecure, and she's very proud and brave, but she's also anxious for her own sachol, Zoe is the rapper, but she's cute and empathetic despite her aggressive lyrics, right? And then Mira is the dancer.
Mira is the aggressive one. She's the one that like gets in trouble for, being
Just being too
mean, but
intense,
yeah.
very intense, like
Yeah,
extremely
too
intense,
intense.
right? That's the
Thank
best
you,
way to
thank
Yeah,
you.
describe it. Yep.
that's the word.
And that's kind of my point. Like, we don't get a lot of these characters, but there's not really a lot to them because they've been in hell for
That's the
so
whole point.
long, and they're just here to, suck souls and get paid, man.
Exactly. And so like
So,
their in contrast, like their characterization is extremely shallow, right? They're just whatever they are on the surface. Oh, I'm romance. That's all that's the as deep as it goes. I'm Abby. Just look at my abs. That's as deep as it goes. Like there's not a lot to them.
and like
Which
that's
is
the thing.
funny because usually it's the women characters that get treated like that.
Well, I mean, but
It
that's the whole point,
shows.
right? Because they're demons, right? They at this, especially like we'll get into Gino because his character is more complex. But
Yes.
with these other four, we're assuming like who knows how long they've been demons forever. There's like some lore about how you become a demon that we can get into in a minute, but it just feels like whatever humanity, if they had any to begin with, if they followed the lore of they were once human and they turned into a demon, or if they were just always demons, we don't really know for sure. But regardless, there isn't any humanity, so there isn't any depth to them, right? That's why they don't have any like personality because it's not there, right? That's the juxtaposition. They're not actually people. Whereas Gino, we do get his backstory, and he was a human. And it feels in a recent enough history, like in his memory, that like you do get a little bit depth with him as far as like his personality.
And that's why it's painful that he has sold out, right? Like, just like these characters. So the real dichotomy is that you have Huntrix who sing these songs that are uplifting. What I wrote here: K-pop as uplifting communal ritual versus predatory, empty, soul-sucking corporate enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what the Saja Boys are doing. They're just here to make you fall in love, so you buy their record sale. You buy their record. They don't care about their fans. They don't care about each other. Not really. Not really.
No.
Or at all.
No. Yeah.
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 I do have something to say about the way that Gino's character is treated in the movie and the whole arc with him. It's very reminiscent of The Little Mermaid in a way.
Okay.
Because, like in the original tale of The Little Mermaid, she loses her voice. She can't speak or sing or any of those things. But mermaids live forever, but they don't have souls. So at the end, she's supposed to kill the prince and then she can remain human forever, or she can go back into the ocean and she's fine, but she has to kill him first. Mm-hmm. But instead, she decides to die and she gains a soul at the end, which is the entire arc of the ending of Ginu. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
yeah, no, that's it. Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting take for sure. Yeah, I mean, if we want to get into his character a little bit, as far as like, obviously anybody who's listening to this has probably already seen the movie, so I don't need to like fully explain the entire plot of what went on there. But yeah, no, but there's a lot of, in my household anyway, a lot of speculation afterwards as to whether or not is Gino really gone. Or is there potential for him to come back in part 2, which it is confirmed they are going to make a part 2. And let's analyze the death scene and see what really happened there. Or like maybe did he just get sucked back into Demon Land? And maybe part of the next film is them having to go back and, retrieve him now that he does have his soul kind of like restored. I don't know. It's kind of like an interesting, thing to maybe conjecture about. So, yeah, I don't know. What's your take? Yeah. Do you think he died? Do you think he's gone?
No, I don't think he's gone. I don't think anyone really dies in the other. Did they give a name for the underworld, or was it just?
I don't know that they did.
It's the land of the demons. That's kind of how they refer to it most of the time.
I don't think anyone dies. I don't think anyone died, right? Like, okay, if Rumi's Sangom cuts you in half, you'll probably die. But that's not what happened, right?
Well, this is what's interesting because when the demons get sliced and diced by the Huntrix, they just respawn back in Demon Land, basically. It like slices them
Oh,
out of Earth, like they're gone from Earth, but I think it just makes them, it just kind of respawns them back into, unless I'm wrong about that. I was trying to
I think you're right. Yeah, I don't think
yeah,
anyone died. I think that there's a chance for redemption. There's probably more lore they can pull from. I don't know. Look, I'll be honest. I'm not an expert on the Hun Moon or Korean
right.
mythology. I know a fair bit about yokai. I know a fair bit about Shintoism. Not the same thing.
Not even
No,
close.
not quite the
Different
same.
cultures, different
Yeah.
countries, different people. Yeah, yeah, different rituals, different religions. It's so I that
Mhm.
being said, yeah, I'd love to see more of him. I liked him. I like characters like that are irredeemable.
Complex. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy that personally, especially when I like when they flirt with redemption but don't take it. Because that to me is very
Mm.
interesting. A lot of characters will take it, like, Harry Osborn at the end of Spider-Man 3. Give me a fucking break. you know?
Mhm.
Loki in season 1 of Loki. Give me a fucking break. No, that would never happen. That doesn't never happens in the comic book. I like when he flirts with it because it's attractive, but the fun thing about characters like that is that they think they know better, and they constantly fall on. I mean, they're foisted by their own petard. And I like that because I know so many people in real life that are like that. That's very realistic to me. People do not change like that. They make
Mm.
marginal changes that sometimes lead them to better places, but true change is a lot harder than one moment. So I
Yeah.
would like to see more stories about Genu and maybe see him change ultimately, right? But I appreciate what they did in this movie where he takes it all the way to the end. Like you have this wonderful arc where like him and Rumi see each other. And I wrote this down. There's this lovely song that plays because he's trying to
I love
talk to
that
her
song. Yeah.
about her. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's called Love Maybe, and it's actually from a movie called Business Proposal that stars Genu's voice actor An Hyo Sup. Siop? I don't know. If I said it wrong, at me in the comments. It's fine. I deserve it. But yeah, it's a beautiful song, and he's kind of like, listen, your demonic nature is not a bad thing. You don't have to be ashamed of it. And she's like, you can help me, bro. And they're trying to meet in the middle, and he's playing her the whole time. But you could tell that it bothers him deeply. He has no choice.
At that moment, he intended to. I think he
Mm.
was actually falling for it, but then he goes back and the major demon starts talking to him and is like, "Did you really think you could be like this?" And he
He was
used that
thinking
to
about it, but he
yeah,
that requires a strength of character that I don't think he had.
exactly. You're right.
Right.
That's
Right.
that's what I'm
Exactly.
saying. hmm
Yeah. Mhm.
Um,
Oh, well, I have
so
like a
I
commentary that I could make here about how this is like a broad commentary that is something I observe here in real life all the time, which is that women have this incredible creative power about us to see the highest potential in our male partners, and not necessarily that Rumi and Gina had actually gotten into a partnership, but there was that, you could tell there was like an attraction and a flirtationship there. And I've noticed that female counterparts tend to really really see the potential and the goodness in their male partners and try so hard to encourage it and like bring it out of them, and many times to their own detriment. They end up putting themselves on the line and draining themselves and getting their souls sucked out of them literally in this process of trying to redeem their male counterpart, when the reality is, as you were saying, like real change, if it does happen, and I do believe that people can grow and do better, but in those cases, when it does happen, it is always self generated. You might be inspired by somebody else or somebody else's growth journey, but ultimately, like, you're not going to change unless you inside of yourself will it and commit to it.
It's the work of, I don't want to say a lifetime, but it's the work of a long time. I think all of us are, a case in point of that. You know what I mean? Like we were all different people like 10 years ago. probably people we weren't very proud of. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
So, huh. I think that the last thing I want to talk about in this first episode here, this first part, is how, CA, that was very well said. And I think that it feeds into the rift that really builds between Rumi and the other members of Huntrix. Because
Mm.
they're, at first, they're kind of like, okay. Fucking Saja boys are beating us in the charts. We're going to go on this award show and we're going to sing a diss track and it's going to be
Take down.
awesome. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so they're writing a song called Takedown. But Rumi, she starts talking to Genu, and
Yep.
she's like, "Oh, he's like a whole person in junk. I can fix him." Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
thing with me, especially. Like the whole time, she's just trying to fix everything. She's trying to fix herself. She's trying to fix the hung moon. She's trying to fix, like, literally everything. She can't even take a break. Like, they're like, she wants to fix Genu. And, like, it's like a whole thing. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
some of that was not hers to fix in the first place.
The thing is Takedown is such an aggressive song,
It is.
and it's wonderful. I do like that song. While it's so vicious, they were writing it together and they were united. And like, I think it's ultimately a good thing that they dropped it and tried to sing Golden
Mm-hmm.
instead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that opened the door for Genu fucking them over. Because
100%.
that's what
Yes.
happens. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Mm-hmm. I
let's
did like that scene
yeah,
though
that's
where
what
it showed their creative process together, like their writing process together. That was a very cool scene.
it was
Mm-hmm.
very cool.
I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I like that.
It's not one person writing it. Like a lot of bands actually are like that behind the scenes. Like I have a good friend named Jonah who's in a band, and they write the music together. Like the one
Mm-hmm.
brings in his guitar riff, the other one brings in a few lyrics he wrote, and yeah,
Yep.
collaborative art.
Yep.
It's a wonderful
Love that.
thing. So that being said, that is part one of K-pop Demon Hunters. Come back next week when we will get further into it and talk about the ending and go into detail about some of the really really kick-ass monsters that are in this movie and mythology. Adrian is
I'm dying. I cannot wait to get into this with you guys.
her glasses are gonna melt. She doesn't get to talk about it soon. Yeah. Obviously, so CA of course has a website called Embracing Divergence,
Mhm.
where I mean, CA, you want to tell us about your business?
Yeah, I mean, I have a range of personal coaching and consulting, services that you can partner with me for. And my favorite thing to do, my big thing I love doing is helping people with their creative process and, leveling up and kind of walking with you for that intense 4 to 6 week period of time when you are launching something new or just stepping into that next level of whatever it is that you do. So if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and check it out and see if you want to schedule a little appointment with me.
CA is the best, guys. You totally want to do it.
Oh,
CA's
thanks,
Holistic
guys.
Healing. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
Adrian, of course, is the chairperson of the um horror.
Horror Film Art Society.
It's a lot of words. Horror Film Art Society. Yeah. There's also a magazine that is bi-weekly. We most likely have a call for submissions for something. I don't know when this is coming out, so we're just gonna tell you to just click the link below. Yeah, we I help edit the magazine, which is called Goblin Crypt.
Yeah.
Goblin Crypt. We publish art and writing based, which is related to the movie or TV show or book or whatever concept Adrian picked for the week or the month. So
It's the month. It's
yeah,
just one.
yeah.
Yeah.
So do check that out. Deathwishpoetrymagazine.com, the deathwishpoetry.com. The fall edition is out by now. Do buy that. It's wonderful. We have spooky, gothic, and erotic stories and poetry published there. And follow us on Instagram, just, if you're a writer, because, we are quarterly. And yeah, check out my link tree at the bottom for all my stuff. I'm not going to get into it all. That being said, write poetry, make art, and love your demons. As
You
always.
guys,
Obviously,
guys,
Thomas.
Period.